All right, we are live. And so if you have been on Instagram, you will know that this live stream was going to happen. I'm going to play around with the video here for a little bit. There we go. Maybe you guys can kind of see what we're going to look at here in a little bit. Yeah, I hope that's nice stuff. Yeah, that's exactly right. So yes, live stream night, which is not very typical for a weekday, but I'm glad that I can do that for you guys. I know that some of you have been missing the live streams, so it's very nice to be able to do this. And I have a couple new things to unbox for you guys. So I've been really excited since I got home, and so when I first got home, I actually had a small package. And I didn't feel like I was gonna like unbox like a small package and whatever, but then like 10 minutes later, after I had opened the package, of course, the smaller one, so that one's not an unboxing or an unpacking, if you will, because it was a small package, but there were two big boxes. I heard a little beep beep outside from the UPS man, and I went out there and got a couple boxes, and I got some new shoes for working out. So that's nice. All right. Keaton, that's pretty funny. Had to quit watching a video because I saw you were streaming. So thank you so much. So first, let's do the unboxing, and then I'll take any questions you guys have, and I'll try to remember the questions that I've seen already, and we'll go from there. So how's that sound? And then let me know on the chat if you guys can hear me very well. Now you guys might hear some other stuff from upstairs possibly. Because I could not kick the family out today. So we just went out to dinner. And so if you heard that screaming, you'll probably hear more screaming while we do some unboxing stuff. So, okay. So should we go ahead and get started? I'm going to get started. Okay, cool. Sound is good. And hey, Michael. First of all, big shout out to Michael. He's an awesome guy. If you've been paying attention to Instagram, I've had some questions about what people are using for suspenders. So these right here are the AR or ANR or whatever suspenders, and to be honest, I feel like they're terrible because like the plastic is like way too pliable, and then sometimes they like slip out of the elastic, and so and it can slip out like mid-game, and of course you don't really realize it until like after the game, and then you're taking off your jersey, and suddenly you have like a strap, ajar. So anyway, so I've been wondering about especially the suspenders that pros are wearing, because they have those Easton ones that have like the orange plastic, and those are the ones that pretty much like almost every professional uses, and I don't know how they're doing it. So I was trying to look for a pair, and Michael hooked me up with with 3 of the off-brand ones. So I'm really excited to see if those work similarly to those Eastons. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is the Fix My Gear heavy duty goalie suspenders. So I'm really excited about these because like I said, I've been looking for like a good pair of suspenders, and these Fix My Gear folks, I was perusing their website and saw that they have these like heavy duty suspenders, and looks like they're made out of leather. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and unpack this, and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, heavy duty elastic, look at that. And then this is this connection right here is definitely leather. That's pretty cool. And let's see here. Man, these are definitely heavy duty. But I'm really excited about using these because like finding a good pair of suspenders is really difficult. Now I just have to figure out which way is up on these things. Okay, so this one goes to the back, and these two come around the shoulders, and there's a lot of slack here, so I can adjust it later. You can see there's all this slack here to put these on the buttons. So I'll try to get these kind of close so you guys can see. But it's leather, so that's cool. So I'm really excited about using these. So that should be fun. So again, if you're wondering who this is, Fix My Gear, made in Canada, heavy duty goalie suspenders, definitely heavy duty elastic, and then the leather attachment points. So I'm really excited about that. Looks like there's some Velcro portion here. I'm gonna have to figure out how that works. All right, but I'll take a look at that tomorrow because we have more fun things to look at today. Oh, and then also, they're nice enough to throw in some puck soap by Fix My Gear. I'll be honest, I don't have a clue. Oh, here we go. Ingredients. With liquid dye and skin-safe scents. So it's soap, I guess I can use in the shower for after games. So I'll let you know how that goes. I don't really smell any particular thing, so we'll see. All right, cool. All right, you guys want to get to the actual unboxing now? Looks like we have 66 people, so now's probably a pretty good time. And thank you definitely to W. Wallace. Yeah, so I had stopped working out largely for like 3-4 months, and that's never a good idea. Like, I had started winding down in the winter, and that was a terrible idea. So I've just now, been going back. Went to Cal's yesterday. I hurt very badly, especially like here. It hurts so bad. But hopefully I'm gonna be back down. I mean, I only really have like 10 pounds to lose, and I'll be fine. So it's mostly my cheeks and my belly. So, all right. So unboxing time, right? Because I know that's what you guys want to see. So, got my trusty knife, and let's go ahead and do it. All right. So, first up, let's go with the smaller box. So here's the small one. I have a good idea what's in these boxes, but that one doesn't look big enough to have what I think is in it. So we'll have to see what's actually in it. All right. Guess what these are? I think that's pretty easy to see what these are probably going to be. And you can see right there, Goalie skates. The new CCM, well, I guess they're not necessarily new, but they're the CCM Tax. I think they've been out a while, actually. But I was really excited about using them. So, alright. Let's see what they look like. Now, I haven't had new skates in a while. How the heck do you open this thing? Is it this side? This side. There we go. Now, if you remember, first of all, before I get too far, this is what I'm in currently. So this is what I'm going to be comparing it to. So these are the Bauer Reactor 9000s, if I remember correctly. 9000s? Pretty sure they're 9000s. I don't see it anywhere. But nonetheless, that's what I'm going to be comparing it to. 6000s. I thought it was in the 9000s, but no, they're 6. 6. So, wow, these are way lighter than I thought they were going to be. So these are the CCM Tax. And it has that black steel on the bottom that keeps its edge for longer. That definitely needs to be profiled and cut, of course. But I'll hold this up so you guys can see. It has kind of a glossy outside. That's cool. It has a reduced cowling. That way it keeps the weight down. Looks nice. Looks way better than those original CCMs. If you remember, it had like the weird like toe here. So these have more of a traditional look, but also incorporate a lot of those modern technologies that you want to see. Also has the Lundy little thing back here. Not Lundy strap, but the Lundy connection point. So that's pretty cool. That I'm probably not going to use, to be honest, because I've removed the boot strap. on my pads. So we'll get to the pads here in a second. I intentionally started this live stream a little bit early so I can give you guys a good like hour and a half. So just like initial thoughts here, you can see the D30 foam right here in the tongue, and you can actually feel it, and you can see it there. And this tongue right here is supposed to reduce your lace bite, and that's something that especially in player skates I often get. And then also I tried to use what were those called? It was the Bauer. Were they called the Bauer Pro skates, if I remember correctly? And I remember I got a pair and I used them like 2 times, and like the eyelet points were just at a point where it was the wrong placement for me. It was terrible and it hurt really badly. So I ended up getting rid of those after like 2 or 3 different uses. So I'm really excited about this portion right here, that reducing potential for lace bite. But even then, it's still pretty, you know, it's not that flexible. It's pretty stiff, and definitely is a pretty stiff boot. So you can see it takes a little bit of effort to get in there. But looking on the inside here, you can see there's quite a bit of padding, especially up here. And then if I go over that side, you can see all that padding on the inside of the ankle. And then let's look at the back here, see if I can kind of tip it in. So that looks really nice. I'm really excited about these. Like, if you guys have noticed, I haven't had new skates in like, what's that been, like 3 years or something like that. So that's pretty cool. So I'm really excited about these, especially that reduced cowling. I remember when those were first coming out, I was a little concerned about the protection. But now you're seeing, you know, one-piece skates, integrated cowlings, and so I'm not concerned anymore. I'm really excited about that black steel too, because I'm sure you guys remember I said it, what is it, before my last game that I put up, or maybe it was the one before that, where I had gotten my skate sharpened right before the game, and I got the worst sharpening of my life, but it was only on one skate. So for the entire game, I had no bite on one side, and it was terrible. And I'm pretty sure that was the game where I was playing in the BHL, and that's not a league where you want to go in with half of a skate, or with half of your skates not sharp. So cool, awesome. So just for good measure, let me show you the other side. Pretty cool. Let me see if the box tells me anything neat about it. Heating instructions. So I have to go to my local hockey store tomorrow, or later, not tonight, but tomorrow or this weekend, and get those baked. Oh, look at this. D30 cushioning. So in the bottom, there's D30 foam in the cushioning, and I can feel it in there. So that's pretty cool. That's interesting, because usually I replace my my insert with yellow feet, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys do as well. So, and here, maybe I can even take it out so you guys can see it. There we go. Okay, so if I turn it over, you can see the D30 foam right here. And so let me see if I can kind of show you. It's pretty squishy, but on impact, it gets hard. So I'm not really sure, outside of like comfort, what effect this would have, because it's not like you're ever going to be like, it's not an impact. You know, you push against it when you're pushing, but it's not an impact. And D30 foam is an impact material. So I'm interested to see how that works. The other interesting thing about these skates is usually I've been wearing a 9, I think, and so these, I'm pretty sure it said it was an 8. Yeah, 8. So I did tell them less, because I wear a 9.5 shoe, I think, And I'm pretty sure their chart said that I should be wearing like an 8 skate. So you're not going to be able to see this very well, but I'm going to put them on and see if the sizing feels good. And let's hope the heck that it does. I'm sure it will. I got to get this lace out of my way. All right. All right, right foot, right skate. Oh yeah. All right, you guys can see that with my pretty legs here, pretty hairy, but they fit really well. I can feel it kind of rubbing over here, but I wear really thin socks, so I'm not too concerned about that. I am wondering, because it's going to take me a little while to figure out, coming from those bowers, this is going to be a different attack angle. I'm pretty sure it already feels like it is. So it's going to be interesting to see what the difference in attack angle will make on my pushes. And then also, because the skate is reduced in size, I'm sure that my push-off points are going to be very, very different. So I'm really interested to see how that works. And I can kind of tell there's going to be a little break-in period for the sides of my toes here. So, but it's not concerning. It feels more like a player skate. And if a lot of us goalies, we don't really follow that same line of thinking with players where you wear like 1 to 1.5 sizes down for your goalie skates. There's a lot of goalies who maybe go down like a half size, and that's typically what I do. So going down basically a full size and a half is going to be a little bit different for me, and it might even be a little bit painful at first. But pretty much every skate is that way to some extent, and once you get used to it, then it works. So, but anyway, cool. All right, anyone have any questions about the CCM Tax skates before I move on to the next portion? I'll kind of hold them up for a little bit so you guys can kind of see. Look at that. Looks beautiful. That's a cool looking tongue. See a D30 foam in it. And then once we are done, does the D30 change the weight at all? That one's coming through on Facebook. So, Randy, I'm not sure if you're talking about the skates or if you're talking about like any of the other things. But as far as I'm aware, I haven't noticed that D30 foam is any more or less, weight than a typical foam. Why don't they just all make equipment out of D30? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, wow, Josh, you go down 2 full sizes. I don't know how you do that. That's an interesting thought, Cedric. I don't think they should put D30, just on the toe cap. Like, you have to have more than that because it's so flexible. So, like, if somebody came by and, like, sliced it, it would definitely slice that D30. But do I think the colors are ugly? No. I actually really like these colors. So I don't mind the yellow there. And the orange, that doesn't bother me. There are some really ugly skates. I don't know if my friend Rick is watching this. He'll probably end up watching it later. I think he usually works tonight. He has some of those golf ball graph skates, or tennis ball graph skates. Oh, those things are terrible. But he just got some new skates, and so he's really happy with those. Mr. DiMaggio goes down 2.5 sizes. I don't know how you do that. Like, my feet would be screaming to get out of them. All right. Man, I'm really excited about these. Like, I think, the Lundy loop. I remember somebody corrected me on that earlier. Thank you so much. Lundy loop, not strap, of course. Again, I am not planning on using this because I just removed my boot strap. So I have no use for this. But I still think it's pretty cool for those of you who do. That's a pretty cool little innovation there. Awesome. Cool. I don't think there's anything else to say about these. Do you think that CCM skates are kind of more for a narrow foot? Well, traditionally, no. So traditionally, your Bowers have been for a more narrow foot. And so that's why I actually had a problem with Bowers for a long time, because I do have a little bit wider of a foot. So when I used to order skates, I would order in E or double E, which is wide or double wide. And So I wasn't really concerned with that going to these. Um, if you would hand me these right now and we were in like a store, I would probably say hand me the E's or the double E's just to try them out to see if I have a little more wiggle room. At the same time, I'm okay with the D or the 8 regular, which is 8D, because I feel like this is going to be much more responsive. So those reactors back there have a really open toe box, and that allows a little wiggle room. So yeah, it decreases the chances that I'm going to have a lot of foot pain. At the same time, it's going to decrease my responsiveness, especially in the toe area. And that, of course, is where a lot of your push comes from. Um, so I'm not concerned at all. Outside of, I'm pretty sure the first 3 to 5 times I use these, my feet are going to be screaming to get out of these things. But nonetheless, hey, life and ball win. So hey, um, nonetheless, um, after those 3 or 5 times, I think I'll be fine. It's just like any pair of skates. You're gonna have some level of discomfort at first, and then they break in. I'm kind of interested to see too. There's an interesting material up here. This yellow, you can see it's kind of shiny, and I'm not sure what kind of material that is, but it's interesting, and I kind of wonder why it's there. Like, it seems very comfortable, but it makes me think that maybe it's there for another reason. Flex stance, asymmetric flex stance. So maybe it's a little more flexible, which I can definitely see that, because this side is very, very rigid, very stiff, and then this side has a little more flexibility to it. And of course, that's the inside edge, so you might want a little more flexibility there. And then for anyone who was wondering, you can see here, there's the tag. 8D is what I got. So cool. All right. Let me see. Are they a lot lighter than your Bowers? Let me see. I will take off the terry cloth. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It's not even close. And to be honest, looking at these on the website, the tacks, I was worried about the weight, because traditionally CCMs are not the lightest, the goalie skates. And feeling these, I remember getting these and thinking that these were really light, because I have 11Ks and 9Ks back there. I still have my old Reebok skates. So finally I can get rid of those. But this is noticeably heavy compared to these. So that is really interesting. I'm glad you pointed that out, because otherwise I probably would have tried that later. And even switching hands, you can definitely tell that these are way heavier than these. So that's interesting. Good point. Though I will say that the blade feels a little bit heavier. So I wonder if the black steel, if it's maybe a little heavier. I'm not exactly sure what it's made of, if it's extra carbon or what that's in there. So that's interesting. All right, before I cut myself, which I almost just did. Actually, I might have. Let's put these away. Maybe I didn't. All right, it's 8 o'clock, so I better get to that other thing, right? I know some of you guys are going to bed early. Do I bake my skates? Yes. Have I ever played inline? Yes, but a long time ago. I do not play roller anymore. No, thank you. I will take questions about the E-Flex 3s in a little bit. What pros wear CCM tack skates? You know what? I'll be honest, I don't know. Let me see if I can look it up. Shouldn't take me that long. Pads Tracker. Who knows about Pads Tracker? Pads Tracker is an incredible website. It is ran by 2 of my friends, I believe. I know it's ran by at least one of them. Skates. So I only see Reebok CCM. So that one, the backup goalie for Nashville. To be honest, I don't know how you say his last name. Mazanik? I don't have a clue. I've seen him play one time, and I'm pretty sure he shut out the Blues that game. And then Crawford, Reebok/CCM, Luongo, Reebok/CCM, Dubnik, the Reebok CCM, Fleury, Reebok CCM, and Gibson is also in Reebok. Grubauer is in CCM Ribcore. And then Smith is in CCM. Gillies in CCM. And is it Jari or Yari? I'm not sure. Whichever one. CCM. I've never seen him play either. I think he's only played in one game in the NHL. So, anyway, there's a couple of goalies who are wearing CCM right now. What cut do I get? So, this is an interesting question. So, traditionally, I've gone with the 3/8 A-trap. So, A-trap, if you don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain. I wish I had something to really show you guys, but basically, like, imagine if your blade was kind of like this. So you have this flat portion, and then you have these sides coming down that make like a really sharp portion. So the idea is that the sharper portion gives you a better bite, and then the flat part on the top gives you a better glide. So traditionally I'd gotten that. But then after that skate sharpening last time, and they screwed it up entirely on that right side, I just said, just give me a regular 3/8. So I've been wearing regular 3/8 for a couple games, and I haven't noticed at all like any difference. Well, at least not a ton. Have I heard about the new hockey store coming to St. Louis? Nope, I haven't. I do know that the Blues equipment assistant equipment manager, I think, is making like a new hockey store or something. So I've been paying attention to that. So anyway, and I have not tried skates without the cowling. Okay, so I know some of you guys had to go to bed soon. So let's open the other box, and hopefully it's not before you guys have to go to bed. So, oh man, I'm so excited. These are going to be great. I can't get rid of that box because that has my heating instructions on it. All right. This is like Christmas today. So let's actually, the funny thing about this box, when he handed it to me, it almost came out the bottom, whatever it is. So it's not going to take very much to get out of here. There we go. Make sure I don't hit the mic. All right, I can see what it is already. All right, I need to move the box out of the way so I have a place to put this. Look at this. The new CCM Premier Chest Protector, the 2017 version. Let's open it up here. Wow. Now, if you remember, I had the 2016 version, and in the issues that I had with it, if you remember back from my review, was mostly that the deltoid protection right here didn't come down far enough for me, and sometimes I would get hit, so it looks like they've taken care of that. That is nicely in there. Look how nicely they've packaged that. I wish I could get my chest protector to act like this all the time. So let's take these arms out. Looks like it's all like Velcro. So there's no more clips. So that's pretty cool. Because one of the problems, of course, if you have clips on the side, and more goalies are making those saves where you're crunching it up on the side, right? And these pucks are getting caught right there. So if you have a clip right there and that shot's coming in, bonk, like that, then you're missing a clip now. So let's take these arms out. And I'll point that out here in a second so you guys can actually see. So here we go. With the arms out, I'm going to look massive in this thing, which is awesome. You see all this D3O foam right here. You can see it all in the chest, in the heart guard. That's cool. I wonder if it's other places too that I just can't see. All right, so let me show you the Velcro really quick. So right here, no longer are these clips. This is just Velcro attachments. That's awesome. Look at the back of the arm protection. Cool. Good protection back here. Got that plastic elbow cap as usual. Looks like it's reduced quite a bit in terms of oftentimes you'll see these chest protectors have like an extra pad back here. but they've reduced that probably to reduce the weight. I never get hit back there, so it's not a big deal to me. Looks great. A little more protection right there. Good attachment points. Good protection on the sides. You can hear that sound. And then, of course, here's all that D3O foam at the elbow joint. You can see that's probably going to be pretty stiff at the beginning. No, it's actually not. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be really stiff. But you can see I just crunched it, and now it crunches quite nicely. If you all are nice, I might even put it on. No, I'm just kidding. I might still put it on though. Let's see here. Nice deltoid protection. I want that to come down nicely, and it looks like it will. Especially if you are in the reverse VH, or if you're post loading, you want to make sure that you have as much protection as you can on the side there. So that's when I would get hit on the side. Good protection up there. Impact force. Talking about the D3O. Let's snap that on off. There we go. And I'll be nice to this one. I don't want to break anything. Alright, cool. And this is a senior large. So here, let me put it on and let's see how it looks. Of course, it's probably not going to be adjusted for me, so we'll just have to wing it here. Alright. I already look like a transformer. Stiff arms. Gonna be a little stiff for a while. Actually, it feels quite nice. You can see I can already do that. It's getting caught on my Fitbit. I'll have to take that off. I have to charge it anyway. Not a big deal. Alright. Alright, so clearly there's going to be a little adjustment period here, but you can see how well protected I am. Look at that. These shoulder floaters are massive. I mean, look at how much it's actually protecting right there. Like, it's protecting my whole armpit, the shoulder floater is. Now, of course, those are adjustable. I'll show you that here in a second. But nonetheless, if I wanted to keep it like that, it'd be nicely protected. You can see I'm getting around the arm protection. So that actually is a really good point here, that on a lot of chest protectors, you see the padding kind of cut off maybe about like here, and then there's like an extra flap over here that's a little looser and not as protective. But what they've done instead is make that entirely padding. Because remember, if you're in the reverse VH and you're, you know, sort of post loading, now look at that. Like, it's going to be up against the post, and you're going to have all that protection right there on the side. You can see my deltoid is completely protected. The top of my arm is protected. My elbow is protected. And no puck is going to squeeze in right there. There's no way. So you can see this chest protector is definitely built to be able to squeeze together and not get anything through. So this is pretty cool. You can also see too, it's not riding very low on me. So if you remember back to, look, I'll even sit here. I can kind of sit here a little bit. I definitely look like a transformer now. So if you remember back with the Bumblebees, or those original Premiers, they were really low. So if I was standing here, they would be like way down here. But this one actually sits up reasonably high. It's not too high. That'd be way too high. You can see it sits at a really nice angle. That's cool. Yeah, I feel massive and I feel protected in this, for sure. Cool. Awesome. All right. And then let's look at the back. Of course, I can't see back there. I think something's going on. There we go. There we go. There's not a lot of protection back there. You don't really need it. Cool. All right, any questions about these? You want me to stick on a jersey so you guys can kind of see? I'll stick on a jersey really quick. I just happen to have a jersey right here. Now, no laughing if I can't get the jersey on, right? Something just fell out of my jersey. All right, no laughing if I can't get it on. All right, so far so good. Cool. Awesome. Woo, you can see it barely fits. Good thing I'm working out. All right, so of course the shoulder floaters are not adjusted at this point, so they might be able to use a little bit more adjusting, but you can see just how big, just massive I am in this thing. And this is a goalie jersey. I just picked it up. You guys haven't even seen it on video yet. You can see just how much it fills out that jersey. And imagine if I have pants on underneath, it's going to be pretty big. So that's pretty cool. I might have to adjust the shoulder floaters a little bit. How is arm mobility? Great. I mean, I could already like drink. Actually I do. I have a water bottle. I don't know how old this water is though. Worked perfectly. Yeah, I am having way too much fun. And I'm doing it on camera, which is weird. Stick on a mask. Alright, so you guys can see pretty good mobility there. Of course I'm sitting, so this isn't exactly perfect. Also has a neck protector on it, so it's gonna clang a little bit. I think once I get in the gear and I get out there, I'm not gonna have any problems with the chin area. Of course I did just mess up my hair. Oh well, okay. Yeah, that jersey definitely looks tight. For sure, I am going to need to find some big jerseys. And I just got that one too. So, let me take this off. Cool. Now I did want to point out really quickly that you can adjust the shoulders. So here's how you do that. It's really easy. All you got to do, that. So you can see I hadn't adjusted them yet. There's also chest height. So if I want a little less height, that's an easy way to do it. Both of those are Velcro. Or I'm sure if you look at the brochure, I'm sure it says like hook and loop enclosure or something like that. Hope I kept the receipt. Why would I do that? I'm keeping this thing. This is beautiful. All right. Cool. All right. Anyone have any questions about the chesty? Why don't I put all my gear on? No. What's the retail cost? That's a good question. I remember looking it up. CCM. It is $539.99 US. So it's a pretty penny. Oh yeah, I hope I kept the receipt for the jersey. Yeah, that's exactly right. I should have. That's okay. At some point, like, I mean, I have to lose enough weight that it will eventually fit me, right? And then let's see here. How does it feel compared to the Paso? So I don't know yet. I mean, of course, like the CCM is still a little bit stiff, so it's going to take, a few weeks really for it to break in enough. Yeah, this room does look expensive. You're right. Is that an extra large size? No, it was a large. And yes, these are pants in the box right behind me, so we will get those. I need a 60G. That's probably correct. I don't know what size that actually is. I think it only comes in one goalie size, so I'm not exactly sure. Do you like the size of the chesty? Yes. One of my biggest concerns, though, is my amount of my mobility, because I feel, especially lately, since I've had the new gear, I feel really stiff. And so I know that it's new gear, it's going to break in, it feels great, but I still also feel like really stiff. So I need to get used to it. This is not going to help, of course, because it's still really stiff. So going out there and practically all new stuff, I'm going to look pretty terrible in one of my future videos. But eventually, using it in more games, using it in more practices and stuff like that, I have a ton of opportunities coming up to play hockey. I remember last summer, I was pretty desperate for ice time. And even this spring, a lot of the leagues have shut down, but new ones are coming up now. And so I have games on every Friday and every Sunday coming up here in a couple weeks. So I will have lots of videos all throughout the summer. Okay, I have not used a Vaughn chesty. So how will I break it in? That is a great question. That's probably the biggest question I get, because I typically don't break in a chest protector. And so if you watch my how to break in goalie gear video, it doesn't really mention the chest protector. Pretty much I just wear it. I have tried something else in the past, and that something else was I washed it. I actually put it in the washer and dryer. That's right through there. And it was okay. I do feel like it helped a little bit, and that was with an old Reebok Premier. It was the all black kind that was really cool looking. It was basically the recreation of the Bumblebee, but all black. But it did also decrease the durability, because in the shoulder floater, there were like the little carbon pieces that were on each side. So after I washed it, I remember looking, and there was like a little part where it had actually come up. And so I'm not sure if I would do that again. I don't have a problem maybe putting it in water in the washer, but I probably wouldn't dry it in the dryer again. So that would just be my suggestion. But I might do a new video on like how to break in a chest protector, and maybe feature that one, and maybe go through a couple different methods that I've seen in the past. Okay. And yes, Jay, that is pretty funny. I didn't even notice that I said that, but yeah. Okay. All right. So I also have a pair of pants here too. All right. All right. CCM Premier Pro Pants. Now featuring D3O foam. Man, these are beautiful. So, if you remember, I actually had a pair of the 2016 version of these as well. So that one's to come up on me. Oh, you can see the D3O foam here, though. That's kind of cool. Alright, so if you remember, I actually had a pair of the 2016 version, but they were XLs, and to be honest, they were just way too big for me. And so I could kind of use them for a while, and it was okay. But really, I needed to be in a large, and especially as I'm losing weight, as my waistline decreases, I definitely need a large. So I'm really excited about finally getting back in the Premiers and getting inside a large. So this is, you can see it here. They've changed where the size is. I don't want to hit my mic, but large, and you can see the D3O foam. That's exactly where that was last time. You can see the D3O foam right there, and it is also in these. So again, we have that D3O foam all throughout the gear. They've very nicely incorporated that. These are massively thick. That's great. Never going to get hit there again, or any bruises through there. This is great. It has the internal belt right here, and of course it has the chesty loops. So going back to this for a second, right here you can barely see it right there in between these two straps. So right here, and then on the other side, of course, same placement right here. Instead of using suspenders, you can actually just loop it through right here using this clip, and then pull this up, and it tightens it. So I have used that before. I really like it. So I'm gonna have to try that out again. Got the internal belt. for those of you guys who like that. I can't remember, I'll be honest, I can't remember in my old Premiers if I kept that or not. Usually I get rid of it, but I might keep it. I'm not sure. We'll see. I want to try a few things. But these are really light. I remember my Premiers felt really heavy and clunky, and this is really surprisingly light. Like, to be honest, these feel really similar to, I remember the old Easton, I think they were like Synergy pants, that were player pants, and these feel about the same weight as those. So these feel really light, especially for how much padding is on them. You can see this extremely thick padding right here, and then you see all this outside padding and inside padding protecting your groin. Now, when I was growing up, this padding didn't exist. So for all you kids out there who are watching, imagine not having this padding, or maybe even like it would be like this tiny pad right here, but you didn't have this big one. I remember coming home with just welts all over my groin from 5-hole shots. So you guys have it easy nowadays. Nice protection up here. Nice flexibility. This is exactly where you want flexibility. Make sure you're cradling that puck in your stomach. Show you guys the back. Got the loop, of course. Got your buttons. It's awesome. All right. Anyone have questions about the CCM Premier Pants? One thing I've noticed too, they're a little shiny, but I don't know that they're as shiny as the Premiers that I had a year or so ago. I remember it was like a really, really shiny navy blue. So this time I got black. That way it matches any set that I wear. Those are nice little connection points, but it's not as shiny, I don't think. Those are some beautiful, beautiful pants. We need to work on this thing though. That needs to stay down. I don't want to get hit. There. All right. Okay. Are they really bulky? I don't know yet. These I can't really put on right here because obviously, like, I'd have to take off my shorts to do that, and I'm not taking off my shorts for you guys. Much to your dismay. So I'll have to do another video and show you guys maybe what it looks like in a locker room or something like that, and then I can tell you whether it's bulky or not. But I do like, so here's another thing. For a while, companies were putting in a ton of padding back here, and I can feel right here is like a little bit of a tailbone protector. It's maybe made out of, I was thinking plastic at first, but now I think it's maybe foam. I'm not sure. But you have a little tailbone protection right here. But there's nothing like really hard or heavy in there. So for a while, all the companies were putting like massive tailbone protectors in there, and it was really making it really heavy. Especially, what was that? Probably, I mean, I don't think this one. Yeah, I don't think that one has it. Something else just fell. All right. That's all right. Okay, so what is different from these from the last version? I can tell that these are much lighter. I can tell that they've taken out some really hard protection where it didn't need to be. And yes, they definitely feel or flexible. Why do I prefer the Premier Pants and Chesty over E-Flex Chesty and Pants? To be perfectly honest, it comes down to looks for me. I feel like I like the Premier look better than the E-Flex Chesty and Pants. And that's not to say anything bad about them. I'm sure they work perfectly fine. But when you think about it, like the things that are integrated, typically your sets are going to be complementary. And then your chesty and your pants are going to be complementary. So I don't have any problem going with E-Flex 3 pads and then Premier pants and chest protector. But I wouldn't probably want like Premier glove and blocker and the E-Flex 3, legs or something like that. So, all Are these more streamlined than last year's model? It definitely seems that way. I don't have them both to be able to compare them. Will they feel differently than the Reebok? So yes. So, and yeah, I usually cut out the belt, but let me kind of show you here. I can hold them both up for you guys. Let me take this sticker off really quick. And then this one's just easier to cut off. That way I can show you guys side by side what they look like. If I can get the scissors back in there. Okay. Alright, I don't want to lose this. Okay. So, these are the Reebok 20Ks. And then I have the CCM Premier Pros, the new ones. So, side by side, trying to see here. These definitely look, these look a little wider, don't they? But they're also not necessarily broken in yet. So, I wish there was a really good way for me to, kind of put these up side by side, but I don't know if there's going to be one. I don't have enough hands. I need like another person here. Who wants to be my assistant next video? You can fly into St. Louis and be my assistant. Maybe I'll KVG come. We've talked about doing some videos together. So you can see the CCMs are a little bit higher in the side. I'm trying to line them up here so you guys can kind of see. I think once these break in, you'll notice that these go a little bit longer. And two, yeah, so here we go. So these also have the extension in them, and so do these. And you can see right there, I let the extension out. So I let these droop down a little bit. So let me undo that extension. So this is a cool thing about CCM pants. They have this extension in here, so that if you unzip it, it gives you a little more length in the legs. So let me undo that. There we go. So now I'm betting that the legs are going to look really similar. Yep. So you can see how similar they look in length now. And the CCMs look a little more squared in the leg portion, don't they? As opposed to these, which have a more round. So I know that they were going to more round in the NHL. That's one of their restrictions. So I wonder if they're allowing, these are still a little round, but they also still look a little bit flatter. I'm not entirely sure. And then you can see this this lower back protection is extremely flexible. There's pretty much there's nothing rigid in here outside of this, like this little foam right here. And the opposite of that, right here, there's a lot of flexibility here, but you can tell there's really hard padding in here, and then there's extremely hard padding back here. So I can kind of show you that right here. And you can't bend that padding. So there's a lot of padding back here, but it also makes it much heavier. So just feeling both of these pants, these are much lighter. I mean, if I had to guess, I would bet it's a quarter lighter. So I don't know how heavy these are. I don't know, they feel like, 10 pounds or something, maybe less. These would maybe feel like 6 or 8 or something. I wish I had a scale, but I don't. Actually, I do, but it's upstairs. So cool. All right, what are the questions you guys have? If you guys have questions about the E-Flex 3s, I'll take those too. The tattoo. So that one, that's a big question I get. I'm getting red from all the chesties. The tattoo is philosophy. So you have Plato and Aristotle, and then Socrates, right there. So, and then eventually I'll get more on the back. That's the only part I don't have. I got philosophy and ancient Greek right there. So, am I a hybrid goalie? I don't think such a thing exists. So, every goalie now, in my opinion, is a butterfly goalie, unless you're an old goalie who's a stand-up goalie. And those are extremely rare, so they're not around anymore. But I think there's there's a lot of debate around like, do hybrids even exist anymore? And like, what does it mean to be a hybrid goalie anymore? So sometimes I'll stand up and hug the post. Does that make me a hybrid? I don't think so, because I think more often than not, watching my videos, you see that that I'm a pretty typical butterfly goalie. So Harambe, so what do you like least about the eFlex 3s? And I will answer your question, but I got to think about it. Actually, I know exactly what it is, and let me show you guys. Here is what I like least about the eFlex 3s. So this has the adjustable or removable boot strap. So you can see before my last game, I removed the boot strap. So there's two things I don't like about this. The first one is that it's really difficult to get this this out. It has to come out through this little slot right here, and there is a piece of plastic that keeps it in there. So basically it's this what is it called? Now I can't remember what the term for the strap is, but it's like a composite plastic sort of strap that's really cool, and it's really rigid. But there's a thicker plastic, and I might be able to show you guys kind of on the inside. I don't know if you guys can kind of see in there, but it's more of your typical kind of plastic, and it is hell trying to get that thing out. I haven't figured out how I'm going to get that out of there. The other thing I don't like about these pads is the other side of this. This little thing right here, this is what contains the actual strap portion. I think that this thing is horribly ugly. They could have found a different way of incorporating this. So to have such a beautiful pad overall that's well thought out, I mean, this is an incredibly well thought out pad. The foam is placed exactly where it should be. Everything where your leg needs to be placed, it's perfect. Where the straps are, it's perfect. And then to put this weirdo square thing hanging off your pad is just so ugly. So fortunately, it tucks. So they made it long enough to where it tucks in, because I really don't want to cut it if I don't have to, because that'll make it even uglier, right? So so it kind of tucks in there, and I haven't had any problems yet. But if I had to say that there was something like terrible on this pad, it's that. And that's such a minor thing. Who cares? But and I can remove it if I want to. So just really quick, since I see the next question, how is the rebounds off of the eFlex 3s? These are totally different than the eFlex 2s as far as those rebounds go. And this was definitely evident last night. So I had a game in a lower league last night, just trying to pick up some ice time, and one of my buddies is on the team, and he's like, hey, we desperately need a goalie last week. And so yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll play. And then this week he's like, hey, my goalie called in the night before, can you play for me? And I'm like, yeah, I need the ice time. They are the worst team in the best division, okay? And they were playing the best team in that league. So I had a lot of shots last night. It's a great video. We ended up losing 4-2, but the last one was an empty netter. So you'll see a 3-2 loss technically. But you are going to see some shots just fly off of these things. So if you remember the eFlex 2s, I pointed out in videos where it would hit the pad and just die right there, and I was able to cover it up. These have been much more like the Premiers. So the hits the pad, it is back out there 10 feet. So that's been the biggest surprise with these pads, because I was expecting these to be a really soft pad, and I can press in on the front, and you can even see in the video, I'm pressing in quite a bit. In the knee rolls, these are really stiff. And then up here, you can see these press in quite a bit. And in the toe, it presses in quite a bit, right? So I was expecting, maybe some softer rebounds, and that has not been the case so far. So I wonder if I could even find, I don't remember which pad it actually hit. I think it may have been this little mark that's right there. I don't think you guys can see that. But I was in my stance, and this rink that I was playing at has the worst lighting in the world. So you'll see that, and I'll point that out in the video. There were a couple goals there where where it hit the pad and just like I barely even knew that it was coming in. So this was one of those shots. It comes in, it hits me while I'm in my stance. It hits me in the top of the pad and goes back out like 10 feet. And so that was a big surprise to me that these act just so differently than the E-Flex 2s. So if you're used to a softer pad, actually it might have been that one right here. So if you're used to a softer pad, you're going to have to get used to a little more stiffness and a little more reactive rebounds than, or responsive rebounds than you're used to. It's not a problem. If you remember, I had the Premiers, I had the E-Flex 2s. I can go between a really soft pad like the E-Flex 1s or the Cohos, the Coho 589s were pretty soft. The E-Flex 2s were pretty soft, but now these E-Flex 3s definitely are more responsive in terms of rebounds. So you can see a few other puck marks here. And you can see quite a few puck marks here. You can see one on this outer flap. One other quick change that I did make, so the changes I've made on this so far, I removed the boot strap, as you guys saw, and then there's a little strap that typically is right here, so I removed that too, and that way I just get a little more flexibility in that area. I think that's been the only two changes so far. And for anyone who's counting the two straps that I do have left, this one I do at 4, and this one I do at 2. So I keep them strapped up until I figure out where I really like it, and then sometimes I cut it down, or sometimes I just leave it. So who has more questions about these? So any new pads coming in the future? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Would I change the colors on the E-Flex 3s? No. Though I have seen some really cool navy and light blue. So of course, I love navy and white blue. I mean, I got a whole E-Flex 2 set down there, and I'm right. So, but nonetheless, I love these colors. Like, these are really sharp. Like, I know I said, I look like a Transformer in the chest protector, but, this completes the ensemble, doesn't it? Like, that is such a Transformer, design. What size are the pads? These are 35 plus 1. Do I play goalie? Yes, I do. Clearly. Looks the same as price spec. So, I think they're probably pretty close, because I'm pretty sure, and you're going to have to excuse me, my eyes are I don't know if they're tired or what's going on. A lot of the stock options are the ones that Price wears, and I think with the exception of 3 things, I pretty much got stock. So I think stock is the adjustable, and I got below the knee. I don't think Price uses adjustable, of course, but that's stock. There was something, I'm trying to remember what the other stock options were that I didn't get. I know that there was something on the glove. Oh, the fact that the 600 series or break, the 600 break is stock, and I got the 590. I know there's something else, but I can't remember what it is. I don't know why I can't remember now. All right. I am getting tired, apparently. No, I also play. Well, in order to do reviews, I have to be able to play, right? Right, Ice Cream Panda. So this is something I kind of ranted about on Instagram. I've seen a rash of Instagram folks who are like, "Hey, check out my review of the Premier 3s," and there's also some retailers who are like, "Hey, watch our video of the review of the E-Flex 3s," and I watch it and I'm like, you didn't say anything about them. All you did was you read the brochure. Tell me about the experience of the pad. What are you actually experiencing out there in this pad? And that's what I try to do. So because a lot of people ask me hey, when are you going to review them? I do not review equipment until sometime between 15 and 25 uses of the pad, because I want to be able to tell you the experience with the pad, how it plays in all sorts of different situations, the protectiveness, and of course the durability of the pad. And buying a pair of pads is not a review, and getting out there, I'm sure you guys heard that scream, but getting out there for one ice time also does not give you a review. It gives you a demo or a first look, and that's why I do these unboxing videos, so you guys can ask me the questions and you can see my initial thoughts. but I need to be able to use the gear 15 to 25 times before I review it, because I want to be able to give you guys a good, honest, and transparent review. And as you guys know, I give you guys the good and the bad. And what is his name? The guy who was like, "Why won't you answer my question?" And it's like, I wasn't answering your question at the time because I was busy talking about the other pads. But I don't have a problem whatsoever. You guys, Harambe Garand. I don't have a problem whatsoever with you guys asking me, "Hey, what don't you like about the gear?" And I don't care, and I don't care if somebody gets mad at me for saying what I don't like. So, and I told you guys what I don't like. So, anyway, so that was I have like one rant every live stream. So that's my rant for today. So I have a few more minutes left for anyone who has any other questions about any of the gear that's up there. I don't mind whatever questions you guys have. Do I think the speed skin works? Yes, I love the speed skin. Honestly, I think one of the biggest problems that I've had is that I did stop working out for 4 months and I gained 10, 15 pounds. And so now I have to build back the strength that I originally had, and I have to reduce the weight that I've gained. And then you're going to really see the speed skin really working. So already you could see in the past couple of videos, I did a couple movement drills where I'm a little, I'm kind of trying out things slowly. But as I lose weight and as I get more used to the pads and as the pads break in, you'll start to see those move way faster. But I do love the speed skin. Like, I just glide across the ice and it takes minimal effort. So that's pretty cool. Have I ever used Simmons? So I have never used Simmons leg pads or gloves. I have used their chest protector and it was pretty cool, but they don't make that chest protector anymore. The one that I used, I can't remember what it was called. It was basically it was basically the knockoff of the 590. I would like to use some Simmons pads and try them out. I know there's a lot of people out there who use them, so I don't have any problem with that. I have a couple buddies who use Simmons, but I've never used them myself. Brian's genetic or heritage? That's a hard one. Well, you said and or, so I'll take and. I want to use both. But I would really like to use those genetics, but I like the look of the heritage. But I mean, you have to like the look of the genetics too. Those new genetics may have the best design of any goalie pad that's out there right now. I mean, that's an incredible design. The biggest difference, so what I would have said the biggest difference between the Premier and the eFlex 3 would be the way that the rebounds react off of them. But since the eFlex 3s have those really reactive rebounds, probably not as much as the Premiers, but still they are more reactive than I'm used to. That's definitely not so much of a difference anymore. But the Premiers are extremely stiff, whereas the eFlex 3s are built in with a little more flexibility. So that's the main difference. And then also, of course, you can get the speed skin on the eFlex 3s. I don't know if you can get the speed skin in the Premiers yet. I think maybe some people can, and I'm not sure if all retailers can, though. So maybe eventually they'll be able to. Thank you so much, Ice Cream Panda. I appreciate that. Will I ever use the 1X pads? I don't know. I hope so. To be honest, I have 3 jobs or 3 or 4 jobs. And so there's quite a bit of equipment that I buy. And I have a lot of expenses in life, given how many kids I have and everything. So if I can afford them, I would love to. If I get the opportunity to use them, I would love to, but I don't know that I'm going to have that opportunity. So hopefully I do. I would love to. And I also don't have any experience with the Vaughns. So I see that question there from Jacob, but I don't have any opinion on the SLR leg pads from Vaughn because I haven't had a chance to get them. Like, would I get them? Like, the answer to that is always yes. Like, I will take any kind of gear. I will take senior gear, senior pro, or pro gear, and I will use it. Of course, I'm going to use it in the right kind of situation. I'm not going to take senior pads out to the BHL. But I would love to use any kind of gear. I am largely gear agnostic, even though you see a lot of CCM back there. Like, I like to use a lot of different kinds of gear. So you see Bauer skates up there. You see Bauer helmets. You see pass-out chest protector. You see a Kiever mask, if that's how you say it, Kiever, Kyver. I still don't have a clue. I have an infinity stick over here. So I use a lot of different kinds of gear. What goalie jock? So it's a good thing you asked about that because I've meant to talk about it a little more. And so I wanted to talk about this a little bit more. So this is the Reebok Pro Jock. I don't even think you can buy this anymore. But here's why I wanted to talk about it, was because if you remember back, what was that? I don't even know how long ago it was. But I got the nutshells, and so they actually have like a bicycle short sort of insert that this goes in. But what I did was I just took it right out, and you can kind of see it says nutshells there, and it has this really cool. I can't remember exactly what this is made out of. If this is the Kevlar or the carbon fiber, but it's really comfortable and really, really hard, extremely protective. And so I just took out that dinky cup that was in here that doesn't do you barely any good, that you find in all stock jocks, and I put the nutshells one in here, and it is incredible. So if you have a chance, definitely check out the nutshells, and it's NUTSHELLZ, and they have a couple kinds. So they have one that's specifically for hockey players and baseball players, stuff like that, and then they have another one that's for like soldiers and military, law enforcement, stuff like that. So they actually got shot with a 22. I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was a 22. A guy wore it and then got shot with a 22 in the cup. And as far as I'm aware, his junk still works. So that's pretty cool. So definitely check out nutshells and upgrade your cup, because remember, like, this is a pretty important part of your body, you know. So treat it with the respect that it deserves. All right. What is the highest level of hockey you have played? That's an interesting question. So I played Junior A up in Canada, and then I came back home and I played college. But then I was also like the hometown emergency goalie for what league was that at the time? The UHL, for the Missouri River Otters. So I never got in any games though, so I can't say that I ever played pro, but I did get to go to some practices and stuff like that, and I went to the tryouts of a couple different pro teams. But that was fun. So Chris, that brand, the brand itself of the cup is called Nutshells. NUTSHELLZ. They're actually a local company here out of like basically St. Louis. So, but they sell all around, and they also they sell to MMA fighters. They use it as well. So I am from St. Louis, Missouri, but I lived in Newmarket, Ontario for a little while, playing some Junior A out there. Favorite NHL team and goalie? I don't have one. So I tend to watch different goalies. So like right now, like if you ask me who I want to win right now, I'd say I want Nashville versus Penguins, and I want Nashville to win probably. And I probably wouldn't have said that like 2 weeks ago, but I really hate Anaheim, and I'm indifferent about Ottawa. Like, it's a good story about Anderson, but I'm not a big Bobby Ryan fan or anything like that. Though I do like Erik Karlsson. I mean, who doesn't? But I don't know. I really don't like the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or whatnot, but the main theme of this playoff seems to be cross checks to the back of the head, and I don't agree with that. Like, I think it's stupid, and I think the NHL really needs to start cracking down on this, because. And this gets back to all the stick work that's out there. The stick work is not making this sport interesting. Like, it's really annoying to watch. You know, a guy like Bobby Ryan or a guy like Ryan Johansson going down the side and getting a stick in the side, and then he doesn't even get like a good shot on goal, or doesn't get to do anything cool. Instead, he has a stick in his side or a slash or something like that. The officiating, I completely agree with you, Derek. It is completely trash. So why the rules are one thing in the regular season and they're completely different in the playoffs doesn't make a lot of sense. And I understand, like, the playoffs are supposed to be rougher and tougher and stuff like that, but they have to really crack down on this stick work and the slashes and the pokes and the cross checks in the back of the head. It's not cool. So I would much rather watch an NHL that is full of skill and great shots and great stick handling and great plays than have to watch this trash hockey that's out there right now with full of slashes and cross checks. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And I agree, they need more suspensions. The cross checks to the back of the head, when you're talking about like the headshots and trying to crack down on those, and then after every single play, if somebody's down on the ice, you see that stick come down on the back of somebody's head, that should be a suspendable offense. and let's crack down on it, because head injuries are not worth it. You see that now. I used to be a ref, so I haven't done it in a while, but I used to be a ref. So I'm pretty sure, I bet Murray's going to come in. He played well. That's an easy question, Crosshairs. KVG. He's a good friend of mine. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I got to go get the kids to bed. But we had a massive amount of people show up today, which is pretty cool. I think at our most we had like 130 people on, which is pretty cool. And so thank you all, always. All of you guys who come and show up and watch my live streams and see the unboxing videos and watch all my my videos. I have lots of videos coming up, so definitely stay tuned. If you have friends who are goalies or hockey players who like to watch videos, definitely let them know about me and have them subscribe. We're almost at 10,000. Like, I'm close enough to 10,000 now that my thing says that I'm at 10,000, even though I'm not. So I'm at 9,725. Once I get to 10,000, I get to do some pretty cool videos along with YouTube. So I definitely want to be able to do that. So as always, hopefully all of you guys are doing well. If you're wrapping up your seasons, good luck. If you're starting a new season, good luck. If you are doing tryouts right now, good luck. And if you guys need anything whatsoever, definitely comment on my videos. You guys know that I respond to almost every comment. I'm a little behind right now, so I need to get back to comments that you guys have put on there for the last couple ways. But nonetheless, it's fun. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Good luck, and I will see you out on the ice.